Alright everyone, so today we're going to talk about resistors in series, as you can see from the title. And if we draw this on a circuit diagram using our circuit symbols, they look something like this. If we have two resistors in series, this is one of them, and then just adjacent to that we're going to have another one. Okay, so let's say this is R1, let's say this one is R2. So these are two resistors in series. Okay, and formally, if you want a formal definition of this, they are in series because they have one. Okay, they are connected at one and only one end. Okay, so connected here. Okay? One and only one end. Only one end. Okay, they're connected at only one end, and that's why they're in series. And so let's see, for discussing things further, I'd like to draw battery here. That makes discussing a lot of things easier. Let's see here. And well, it's not necessary that that we only have two resistors in series. We could have as many as we like if I just remove that, and let's see, I can draw another one. I can draw another one here. Whoops, that's a bit too long. Okay, so I can draw another resistor here. Let's call that R3. Okay, and so now all of these three resistors, they are in series. Okay, they are in series. I think the name should itself be very intuitive, right? In series, like they are in a series. All right, I think that should be good enough for that. Now I want to discuss a few fundamental properties of resistors in series. And well, the first two are actually anyways, I'll discuss them. The first one, this should be pretty intuitive actually. Let's say, okay, so this is my cell or battery. Okay, so this is going to provide a current, say, okay, I. Okay, let's say there's current I flowing through this. So same current here, nowhere else to go, right? Okay, and same current here, right? Nowhere else to go. Okay, same current here, nowhere else to go. Okay, right? The same current is going to flow here. Okay, there's nowhere else to go. The current has to flow like this. The same amount of current has to keep flowing until it reaches back to our cell, right? Until it reaches back to our cell. So this is one of the fundamental properties of resistors or components in series. As you can see, the current through this, current through this one is clearly I, right? The current through this one is also clearly I, okay, R2. The current through R3 is also clearly I. So in series, the current is going to be the same throughout. Okay, let me write that down. Current at through, let's say through components, or well, I guess elements is fine too. Elements is the same. Okay, same throughout. All right, so that's one of the fundamental properties of components or resistors in series. And we have a few more. Okay, not being able to position that correctly. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. All right, so with that done, let's see. Let's talk about voltage now. Let's talk about voltage. And for that, let's say that the cell has a voltage of V, provides a voltage of V. All right, and the voltages across these R1, R2, R3. Let's say that those are. I'm a bit strapped for space here. let me do it here. Can I copy just this? Okay, wait. I'll try. Let's see. Okay, seems like that was a success. All right, this should be fine. All right, so uh, let's say that the voltages across these resistors, let's say R1 across R1, let's say that's V1. Okay, let's say that's V1. Oops. Let's say that's V1. Okay, across R2, let's say that's V2. Okay, across R3, let's say that's V3. All right. So if you wanna include the polarities, since this is the plus end of the cell, it's providing the voltage across these three resistors. This is going to be the plus here. This is plus, and this is the minus. This is a plus, this is a minus, this is a plus, this is a minus. All right. Anyways, now let's talk about how these voltages are related. For that, okay, first I'll talk about it a bit informally, and I hope that makes things a bit more intuitive, and then I can also formally prove it. That's not a problem. Okay, what is voltage? If we recall the definition, voltage is basically the energy per unit charge, right? The energy per unit charge. Energy per unit charge. Right? Okay. So, and I think we should clearly remember the law of conservation of energy, right? So if this cell, this is obviously what's providing the energy to the circuit, okay, and the resistors are absorbing energy, okay. You never see resistors giving out energy. They always absorb energy. All right. So it makes sense, okay. The law of conservation of energy would tell us that the energy provided by the cell, okay, is the same as the total energy that's absorbed by all the resistors, right? The total energy absorbed by all of the resistors, right? So it should make sense. Since voltage, as we said, since voltage is the energy per unit charge, and we see that the the current through all of these things is the same, right? The current through all the resistors is the same, and across the battery too. And this current is just the rate of flow of charge, okay, charge per unit time. It should make sense that the voltage or the energy per unit charge that's supplied by the battery, okay, or the cell, is the same as the energy per unit charge, okay, that's absorbed by all the resistors, right? So, and the total is obviously going to be just the sum, right? Just the sum of the individual energies, right? The energies per unit charge, right? So V1 plus V2 plus V3. I hope this discussion makes it a bit intuitive, okay, but we can also formally prove it, right? And that's pretty simple. The only thing you need to know is wait, first thing, let's write these, let's express the conservation of energy mathematically. All right. So as I said before, we know, due to the law of conservation of energy, the energy provided by this battery or cell, let's call that E. All right, let's call that E, okay, is going to be the same as the sum of the energies or total energy absorbed by the resistance, right? So it's E1 plus E2 plus E3, right? E3. Okay, all right. So, and well, I hope you do remember this formula or have learned this. What's the energy absorbed by a resistor? What's the energy absorbed by a resistor? Okay, uh, the power is V into I, right? V into I, and the energy is going to be the power multiplied by the time for which this energy is absorbed. Okay, and so since P is Vi, I can just substitute that here, and what I get is VIT. Okay, VIT. That's the energy absorbed by a resistor. All right, so I'll write that here. Okay, so the energy uh, okay, so this is for this is the energy, uh, this energy given out by the cell, okay, or the battery. Okay, so for this one, no, wait, let me make one thing clear. I was just talking about resistors and all, but this formula does apply to any component. Okay, so this formula, whether it's energy absorbed or the energy given out, that we need to take care about ourselves. But this is true for any component, really, any circuit element. But anyways, so this is going to apply to the cell too. So for the cell, the amount of energy that's giving out, it's going to be the voltage. Okay, the voltage across it, V, multiplied by the current across it, that's I, and the time T, right? Okay, VIT. Okay, let's say that we're talking about some time has passed since the circuit is turned on, and so that time is T, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same for all the things here, right? It's going to be the same for all the things here. So now we need to talk about these energies, right? The energy absorbed by each of the resistors. That's just going to be almost the same procedure as the cell, okay? Except the voltage here, okay, for this resistor one, it's V1. For this one, it's V2. But this one is V3, right? Okay, so we have V1, okay, for the first resistor. Now, what's the current? I had current here, but what's the current through this resistor? Well, it's the same, right? I just talked about that. We just proved that the current through each of these elements in series, they have to be exactly the same. So if this is I, this also has to be I. Okay. Actually, let me write these down. Okay. Let me write this down. All right. So if this is I, if this is I, this also has to be I. Okay, this is also has to be I, and the time is obviously the same. Time is the same for all of them. So for all these resistors, as you can see, the current is the same. Okay, we showed that before. All right, and now we can divide all sides by IT. Okay, and if you do that, if you divide all sides by IT, what you'll get is this. Statement. So we just formally proved that. There's no need to be dissatisfied about this now. So we can firmly say that this is written. We say that the voltage is shared. Okay, in series. Okay, the voltage is shared among the elements. Okay, and mathematically it's written as this: the total voltage, okay, is going to be equal to the sum of the individual voltages. All right, so let's see. So that's done. That's another property discussed, and this is just we are talking about resistors particularly, okay, in this video. But let me just tell you something. These two properties, okay, they apply to any components in series. Okay, any elements or components in series, whether later if you learn about inductors or capacitors or anything. Okay, in series the current is always going to be the same, and the voltage is always going to be shared among the elements, no matter what kind of elements they are. But anyways, we mostly just care about resistors for now. So that's the second property done. Now before moving on, before discussing series resistors further, I want to talk about open circuits and short circuits. Okay, it might sound a bit intimidating. It's something really simple. Really, it's defined really simply. An open circuit, actually, they're called open and short circuits, but actually they're not actually circuits. Okay, they're not actually circuits. Open circuit, an open circuit is really just what the name implies. Okay, the name has open in it, and that's exactly what it means. You have um, it's just open. Okay, okay, this is just open. All right, this is actually surprisingly this what I drew right here, it does classify as a circuit element. Okay, this circuit element, it's called an open circuit. This is a circuit element. As I said before, although it has the name circuit, it's not really a circuit, it's a circuit element. And it's basically just you have you have it open. Okay, you can say that there's air here. Okay, practically there's going to be air or some other insulator here. All right, so what's special about this? Okay, if you just instead of connecting the wire, connecting by a wire, if you just keep a part of it open, okay, part of a circuit open, what's special about this? Well, air is actually a really poor conductor of electricity, and this component is going to have a really high resistance. And in fact, for our purposes, in these ideal circuits, you could say, where we assume that these thin wires, okay, as you might know, we assume that these have no resistance. These have no resistance, 0 ohms, okay, zero resistance. But practically you do not find any wire unless it's a superconductor. But that aside, there's really no wire that has zero resistance. You're going to have some small resistance. Same thing here. This is such a high, this has such a high resistance that we assume it to be infinite. Okay, we assume it to be infinite. That's really how open circuit, it's defined. It's just open. Okay, it's just open circuit element that has this opening in the middle. Its resistance is infinite, and that's why as you might have guessed, it doesn't allow any current to pass through it. Okay, it doesn't allow any current to pass through it. Current simply cannot pass through it, or you could say I is equal to 0. Okay, current cannot pass through this. All right, so that's an open circuit. And a short circuit is the opposite of this. Okay, a short circuit, an open circuit, well, let me just write this. This is just as shorthand, it's often abbreviated as OC. Okay, OC. A short circuit is, let's see, short circuit. I think a lot of you, even before studying about circuits and electricity, you might have, heard this, and colloquially discussed, like, it's a short, mostly when, things blow up, or, some wire melts or something like that. Okay, when you have some problem in some appliance, you'd see people talking about, there's a short, or, it's shorted or something like that, right? And that's not wrong, actually. That's not wrong. I'll discuss why they talk about those in a bit later. But short circuit is basically it's just your it's just your wire. It's just your regular thin wire, which we assume have zero resistance. Okay, so short circuit has zero resistance. Okay, that's pretty simple. Short circuit has zero resistance. It basically provides no obstruction to current. Resistance is basically, as you know, it impedes or obstructs current. Okay, this one, an open circuit doesn't allow any current to pass through. A short circuit provides no obstruction to current. Okay, provides no obstruction to current. Doesn't cause current to decrease even a bit. All right, so current, okay, so that's zero resistance and doesn't impede current at all. All right, so that's it for discussing open and short circuits. Now, why did I talk about these? Well, a lot of, some of you might be catching on to this, but there is actually a really convenient component, okay, device that allows us to switch from one of these to the other. That's a switch, okay, that's a switch. And this is, we often see switches in these, in these sort of circuits, okay. So this is sorry, uh, this is basically, this is basic. All right, so okay, let me draw that using a different color, okay. So this is basically a switch, all right. So uh, here, okay, the way I've shown this is open, right? This switch is open, all right, or you could say it's turned off, it's switched off, all right. So in this switched off state, you have an open circuit, right? You have an open circuit. See, there's a gap here, okay, there's a gap here. So you have an open circuit and no current can pass through, okay, no current can pass through when the switch is turned off. And likewise, when the switch, when you turn on the switch, when you press the button, when you turn on the switch, this is going to be this, okay, it just turned into a short circuit, okay, it just turned into a short circuit. All right, so that's how a switch works. And in these types of resistor circuits, we often have a switch somewhere. So I'll talk about that now. I'll talk about that right now. So let's say we have let's see, okay, so I'll draw that again. So we have one resistor, another resistor, and there might be more, but anyways, I'll just draw two for now. So we have a switch here, and wait, let's say there's a cell here or a battery, okay. So this is say R1, this is say R2, and this is my, this is going to be my switch, okay. Now let's say that the switch is, it's turned on, okay, it's on, okay, it's on. Now what happens? Well, the circuit just operates normally, okay. The short circuit, it has zero resistance. As I said, it has a zero resistance, so it's not really going to decrease the current or affect the current in any way. Just have these two resistances, and you can treat this part as just the rest of the connecting wire, okay, the rest of the connecting wire, it's all the same. So this doesn't really affect the circuit in any way, okay. Just the circuit operates normally. All right. Now this one is the more obvious one. Okay, this one is the more obvious one. Well, the other one is not that difficult either, actually. So if you have this open, if you have this switch turned off, okay, so you have an open circuit, right? You have an open circuit, and it doesn't really it doesn't allow any current to pass through. There's no current, okay, there's no current flowing through this entire circuit, not here, not anywhere really, okay, because this has an infinite resistance, right? This has an infinite resistance, as we saw, okay. No, it's not going to allow any current to pass through, okay. And in the real world, if you want to visualize this, it's like the current would have to, the electrons or current would have to jump through air, and they're not really that willing to do that, okay. Air is a really poor conductor. Oh, all right, so and let's talk about a bit of a practical example. So we see that when there's an open circuit, like the switch is open, there's no current going to pass through, right? No current is going to pass through. Well, let's say that we have let's move to a more practical example, okay. Let's say there's okay, let's say there's your main supply, okay, main supply. Let's say here there's a main supply, and you can also just substitute that with battery. It doesn't really matter for our example. So anyways, just your voltage or power source. So mains, well, I'll just write mains, okay. And you have suppose that there's a kettle here, okay. Suppose that there's a kettle here. All right. Well, that isn't really a good example of drawing a kettle. So The kettle is it's going to have, you know, coil of wire. Okay, it's going to have a coil of wire. I'll talk about that in a bit. And let's say we also have a bulb here. Okay, we also have a bulb here. All right, and okay, so I'll keep that to now. And well, let's say there is also a switch which is turned on. Okay, so the circuit operates normally. Okay, for now this circuit operates normally, and you can treat these components as resistors actually. Okay, this coil right here, it's just really a heating coil. As you know, current passes through this, you know, has quite a high resistance. That's why you get a lot of heat from this, you know, which causes the kettle to heat up, okay, or the things inside it. So this is a resistor really. This is just a resistor, you could say. Okay. This is, you know, the bulb is also, you have that filament, so this is also a resistor. But anyways, main thing that I want to talk about, so this, you know, we could model this as a power supply. Okay, power supply, same as before really, you know, and connected with resistors in series, right? These as we see, we can treat these as resistors in series, right? Okay, now what happens if for some reason, like you know, if you know, very high current is passing, your bulb, okay, or the filament inside it, it overheats and melts. Okay, it overheats and melts. All right, wait, I wanted red. All right, so this bulb, okay, the filament inside it, okay, let's say it looks like something like this. So you have you know, this filament right here. So this one overheats and melts. So what you have after that, after it melts, is this, right? Okay, so if it melts, as you can see, you know, this is like an inside view of the bulb. This is an inside view of the bulb. Now you have you have an open circuit, right? You have an open circuit. Okay, this is basically open. It's basically open, right? So no current is going to pass through. No current is going to pass through, right? As we saw before, if the circuit is open anywhere, no current is going to pass through. Same thing, you know, if your coil, you know, if you know the coil in your kettle, instead of the bulb, if this one melts or goes out, or damage, you know, it gets damaged in any way. Okay, suppose say this coil breaks. Okay, suppose say this coil, you know, you're not only supposed to have, it says, you know, it's supposed to be fine. Suppose say, you know, this breaks, okay, at, you know, one part. Okay, now you have something like this. Again you have an opening. Okay, so again no current is going to pass through. So I guess, you know, this was a lot of blabbering for something so simple. Yeah, you know, a lot of repetition. What I want to say is, what I want to say is, in any instance that you have an open circuit, okay, uh, when you have, you know, when you have things connected in series, okay, and in this series, like this if you talk about this switch, if you talk about wait, whether you talk about this switch or whether you talk about any of these, you know, components, they're all in series, right? Okay, they're all in series. Okay, so if any one of these things in series you know, becomes an open circuit. Okay, if any one of these becomes an open circuit, these, you know, this combination, it stops functioning, right? Your current becomes zero. So I'll write that down. So open circuit in series. Okay, and this could be due to, you know, turning a switch off. Okay, so it could be switch off, or it could be some faulty or, you know, damaged equipment, damaged element, let's say. Okay, so that's what it's going to do. Your, you know, your series circuit is going to stop functioning. Okay, your series circuit is going to stop functioning. Let's see. Yeah, damaged, faulty or damaged element. Okay, series circuit stops functioning. functioning. And why? Because your current becomes zero, right? Your current is zero. Okay, so everything stops working. All right, so that's the third property. uh, and well, let's see. Yeah, that's basically it for discussing properties of series resistors in series. The first two, as I said, it's true for any components connected in series. Okay, so you're going to have if if you have components, or if you have resistors connect in series. Okay, you have resistors connect in series, your current through each of the elements is going to be the same. Okay, it's going to be the same. The current is same throughout. Okay, it's going to be the same. Your voltage is shared among all the elements. Okay, so the total voltage is going to be the sum of each of the voltages. The total voltage is going to be the sum of each of the voltages. Might seem like some obvious fact, but as you see, it's not really always true, especially if when we talk about parallel combinations, it's not true. Okay, so your voltage is shared among the elements. And any if you for some reason there any part of the series circuit, okay, series circuit becomes open. Okay, whether it's because of switching something off, or it's because of something breaks, melts, or blows up, gets damaged, and you develop some sort of opening. Okay, so if there's an open circuit, then the series combination stops functioning, because your current stops flowing. Okay, your current stops flowing. All right, so that's enough for discussing this theoretically. Let's try to solve, let's try to bring everything that we learned into one problem. Okay, I have one on hand. I hopefully this gives us a bit of mathematical experience, as well as see how useful these properties that we talked about are. All right, so we have this, let's see, there's another one. All right, um, and all right, let's continue. And actually, I remembered something a bit important, which forgot to talk about. It's not something that's going to hamper what we did so far, but a lot of you might be uncomfortable about something. Okay, something, and that is you know the way I drew these resistors. Okay, now there's like a 50-50% 50-50 split between how people draw resistors. Okay, half of the world draws them like this box right here. Okay, you have a rectangle, and half of the world draws it like this zigzag pattern. All right, now for most of my videos, I'm probably going to use this. Okay, this is what I've used most of the time, although I have experience using drawing both of these. I'm probably going to do this most of the time. Okay, the box one, but both are equally valid. I'm not encouraging or discouraging either one of them. You should use the one you're comfortable with. It's really just circuit symbol. It's not something to really fret about that much. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get back to the problem. Now we have, say, 12 volts, um, battery of 12 volts here. Okay, and we have say this one is a resistor of resistance R, and we have resistance of 2 ohm here. This switch, as you can see, it's closed, so this circuit is going to function properly. Okay, everything's going to work as expected. And we have this current is given as 2 amps. Okay, this current is given as 2 amps. Now what we are asked to do is find this unknown resistance, as well as the voltage across this. Okay, the voltage across this. Okay, and also the power through this resistor. Okay, the power through this resistor, right? So basically everything that we can find about this resistor. All right, so to do this, we're just going to we just need to remember what basically being in series means, right? Because these these resistors, as you can see, they're in series, right? They're in series, right? Okay, they're in series. So if they're in series, we know that um, there's this 2 amp current here, right? This 2 amp current is flowing here. It's going to flow through here too. As I said, there's nowhere else to go, right? There's nowhere else to go. So the current through this, okay, this resistor, what's going to be, what is it going to be? This is 2 amps, right? This is 2 amps, okay? This is and the current through this one, okay, this one also has to be 2 amps, right? Also has to be 2 amps, okay? It's 2 amps throughout, 2 amps throughout, okay? So that's good to know that the current through this is 2 amps, right? And well, if we also know the current through this, we just found that out. And if that's true, we have the resistance for this resistor, we have the current through this one, all right? Can we not find the voltage? It's just Ohm's law, right? It's just Ohm's law. So Ohm's law tells us that for this one, okay, it's for this one, let's call that V, let's call that V2, okay? For this resistor, the voltage is going to be the current into the resistance, right? The current into the resistance, let's call that R2. And so this is going to be, the current is 2 amps, right? The current is 2 amps. The resistance is also 2 ohms. This is 4 volts, right? This is 4 volts. This is 4 volts. So this is important. This is important. We just found out that the voltage through this one, okay, the voltage through this one is 4 volts, right? Now this is interesting. We have 12 volts right here. This is there's only this one cell or battery that's supplying this this series combination, okay, these resistors in series. So this is your total voltage. This is your total voltage, and we for the one of the resistors has 4 volts across it. We don't know the other one. Okay, that's unknown. But what do we know? What do we know? That the voltage is shared in among all these elements, right? Since they're in series, so the voltage is going to be shared here, like we saw in this formula, Your total voltage is just going to be the sum of the individual voltages, okay? No matter how many elements there are in series. So here there's just these two resistors. So we have 12 volts here. 12 volts is going to be, the total voltage is equal to the sum of the voltages, right? The sum of the voltages here, that's R. So no, not R, sorry. The voltage here, the voltage across this one is V. This one is clearly V. Okay, that's our unknown. And plus we just found that out, that this one is actually 4 volts. This one is actually 4 volts. Now this gives us V, right? This gives us V. V is going to be 8 volts. V is going to be 8 volts. So voila, we got one of our answers. We got one of our answers pretty easily. Okay, and now we know the voltage across this. We already discussed what's the current across this. That's 2 amps. We found that out. So we have the voltage across this resistor. We have the current across this. Now Ohm's law tells us that we can easily find the resistance, right? This unknown resistance R, okay, that is going to be equal to V by I, right? V by I, okay. So V is 8, as we found that, and the current is 2, the current is 2 amps. And this is going to give us 4 ohms. This is going to give us 4 ohms. So 2 out of 3 done. We just need to find the power, right? We just need to find the power. That's pretty simple, okay. The power, as we know, is going to be V into I. Now we know all, everything else about this resistor. So V is, as we found out, that's 8. V is 8. I is 2. Okay, 2 amps. So we have 8 into 2, that's 16 watts, okay, 16 watts, so joules per second. So we found all of these, right? So that's it for the problem. Now let's just discuss one more thing, something you could call it a bit extra, okay. Suppose say let's see. Let's talk about why I put this resistor here. Not resistor, sorry, switch. And this is something extra. This is something it's still good to see, especially you'd need it later if you uh, do talk about circuits further. Okay, study circuits further. So suppose say my circuit is open. Now you have you have an open circuit here. Okay, this switch just turned into an open circuit. Now what's going to happen, as we saw before, the current's going to be zero. The current, there's no current flowing through this. These are not going to operate. And so what I'd like to discuss is, it might not be that intuitive with this it's kind of a bit theoretical, okay. But what's the voltage across you know this open circuit? Okay, what's the voltage across this open circuit? That's might sound a bit weird to talk about that, but that's what I want to know. What's the voltage across this open circuit? Okay, what's the voltage across this? Okay, now let's see, I'll write OC here. And we can actually figure that out. Okay, we can actually figure that out. We just need to think about the fact that in this open, this part, this opening, it's also, this whole thing is actually series combination. Okay, this is also in series with these resistors. Okay, this is also in series with these resistors. So the voltage, as we said, is going to be shared. Right now, still the voltage is going to be shared. Your total voltage is the same as before. It's 12 volts. Remember, even if we don't have a current, your battery or cell, it's still going to provide that same voltage. Okay, it's not affected by whether current is flowing through it or not. It's going to provide your same voltage. But here's the thing: the current now is zero, right? The current through the current now is zero. The current through these resistors, it's zero, right? 0 amps, zero. Okay, then what are the voltages now? If I go back to this, if I go back to this formula, as we saw, total voltage is the sum of the individual voltages in series. So all of these, as we see, all of these are in series. For the resistors, what are the voltages? Well, no matter what the resistance here is, it's 4 ohms, but it could be even higher. It doesn't really matter. But if we have this, if we talk about that resistor in particular, so for that, let's say the voltage across that would be, let's call it V1 now. So that's going to be your current into your resistance, right? Your current, which is 0, into your resistance. Okay, so that's just going to be 0, right? That's just going to be 0 volts. Okay, so this one is going to have voltage of 0 volts across it. Okay, now this is becoming a bit messy actually. So this is 0 volts, this is 0 volts. Likewise, this is 0 volts also, this is 0 volts also. So we have 0 plus 0 plus the voltage across your open circuit, which you wanted to find, the voltage across my open circuit. All right, so that is VOC. Well, these zeros don't really matter. So what do we see? That the voltage across the open circuit is going to be your total voltage. Okay, and this is generally true when you have an open circuit. In a series combination, if you have an open circuit, the the voltage that's supposed to be across the whole series combination, all of that is kind of taken up by the open circuit. All of that is taken up by the open circuit. Your open circuit voltage is going to be the same as the voltage across the whole series combination. All right, the other components won't have any voltage across them. Now this might seem like a bit trivial, or why am I discussing about this? But as you see, it is important in some later applications, like when we talk about capacitors and things like that. But anyways, you can leave it aside for now. If it's you'd see the uses for it later. We can just take it slow for now. There's no problem. Anyways, I'll stop my blabbering for now. And so that is it. That is the end of this lecture. I yeah that's Oh yeah, one last thing. I'm sure some of you are wondering. Okay, so I didn't talk about the equivalent resistance of the resistors in series. That's one thing that I did not cover, and the reason is I am going to make a video later about equivalent resistance. Okay, when we have for series combinations, for parallel combinations, and for the mixed combinations. Okay, basically your other problems. That's for later. I'll first have to talk about parallel combinations. Okay, hopefully, and then also about the equivalent. Hopefully all of that will be done in the upcoming week. And yeah, that's the end of this video. If you found this helpful, again, anyway, please do support this channel. Please do leave a like, subscribe, and if you found any discrepancies, if you found any issues, or anything to talk about, just leave that in the comments. If you have any suggestion, do also leave that in the comments. If I see that's quite it's a good suggestion, if I like it, and if I see it's something in high demand, some there's other peeps who want to learn that too, I would gladly do that. I would gladly make a video on that. Okay, so that is the end of this lecture.